So today I have some ASMR screen cleaning. I'm going to show you an easy way to make a screen print, and we're going to test out and see if we can screen print with Bleach. There's no way this works, right? Today's video is sponsored by Cricut. So I thought it'd be fun to do this first little part of me cleaning the screen as ASMR. So cool. So with that all clean, what you're going to need is a palette to put your shirt on. And you could actually use like a piece of wood or maybe even cardboard, not a cardboard, because that's nothing. But I have a video way far back where I actually showed you how to make a screen and screen print from home. And like I used here like a little piece of wood right there, and it worked well. And then I ended up cooking or curing the ink in the oven. I thought it was funny because it was like a pizza shirt, and look how cute and little I am. Cute. And so that's one way to make a screen and screen print. And then I actually did another way more recently where I did it with my sister, that cutie, and she turned into a dog. I don't know if you remember that video. Maybe you haven't seen it. You can go see it there too. But in that one, what I did is I used embroidery hoops and like nylon, and then also chiffon, I think is the fabric. And so all we did was cut it up and stretch it out over the embroidery hoop. And then to get the image into the screen or the hoop is you just drew it on and then used Elmer's glue to like block out the spots that we didn't want the ink to go through. And that seemed to work pretty good. Spoiler alert, it didn't work super well on the nylon, so you're going to want to use a chiffon. But I tried it out with just acrylic paint, and then I used a credit card to squeegee it on there. And it worked. I wanted to try it again where I didn't have like that stuff around the outside, so I just like I didn't have the ink, I didn't have the paint around the outside, so I filled it in with Elmer's glue again to just get the image. And for this one, I actually liked the first one better rather than the second one, but it was a quick, easy way to screen print. So that's one option. But what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to use some spray adhesive on your palette, your board, whatever you're using. Make sure it's sticky so that your shirt will stay in place as you're screen printing. So I just pulled the up and over, and then we have our screen, and we're just going to test it out right here, just using some bleach. And there's not a whole lot of room up there, like in between this, like the start of the design. And so when I squeegeed it on there, you're going to see it kind of seep through before I was even able to squeegee it on there. Right, but like it worked kind of well. But right there, that's where it kind of seeped through before I even started squeegeeing it. So I thought maybe what I could do is thicken up the bleach. So I just used some cornstarch and some water, and I actually had some silicone left in there from a previous project where I made some silicone molds of a skull, and then I put resin and flowers in it. That was a fun one, but I had to sift out all the silicone from that past project and then put it in a pot, and then we're just gonna put that on the stove, my cute little single burner, and just thicken it on up. So I probably put too much cornstarch, because when I pulled it out, it was like kind of really thick. It felt more rubbery than like gooey. And then after it even got colder, it was even more rubbery. So when I added the bleach to try to mix it up, thinking of the bleach, it kind of just separated. So I tried it again, used less cornstarch, and now it was a nice consistency to where it was just gooey, and mixed it up, and we're gonna try that again. So I moved the shirt over. I also clamped down the screen there on the table so that it wouldn't move, and that seemed to help out a little bit. But I kept on running into the same problem where there wasn't enough space on the screen for the bleach to sit without seeping into the design. So I got that on the top left. I thought I'd try one more time and maybe put all of the bleach on the left side right there, because there's more space. But ran into a new problem there because my squeegee isn't big enough for the design. I had to do a couple passes to get the whole thing filled, and it kind of worked. But also you can see right there on the left, the bleach actually started eating through the emulsion. So to fix that, we're actually going to use vinyl, and Cricut was nice enough to hook us up with this Cricut maker.
So super big thanks to Cricut for sponsoring this video, and let me go into a little bit of detail about this machine and all the goodies that they sent me. So they actually have a couple different machines, and I picked the Maker because of how versatile the machine is. It's the ultimate smart cutting machine. It can cut over 300 different material, including, it can do very delicate things like paper or fabric, but then also thicker stuff like matte board, leather, and basswood. So where I'm constantly working with different materials, this is the perfect machine for me. It also has an expandable suite of tools, which gives me endless possibilities, meaning I can like cut, draw, score, deboss, engrave, do all these things with just one single machine. And Cricut's always expanding the catalog of their tools, meaning that it's just gonna get better and better the more it ages. It was super easy to set up, and they actually had like a step-by-step guide to do it. I had it up and running within like a minute, which was really nice, so I could just move on to this project I'm working on. So with the Maker turned on, I just went to the Cricut design space and uploaded my image, made sure it was how I wanted it, and the size I wanted it. And something really important to do is mirror it. When you're doing a screen print, you gotta mirror it, because that's gonna go on the back of your screen. Then just took this protective plastic sheet off of this grip mat, then loaded up the vinyl on top. With that, I was ready to load it in and ready to cut it. To get your own Cricut or learn more about my Maker that I have and all the things that it does, you can go to the link in my description and find out more or purchase it there. Now with this vinyl piece all cut out, then just unload it and looking pretty good. Now we just have to take out the vinyl part to make the stencil. So I have this little straight cutter. I probably should have done this before I put the vinyl on the mat, but oh well. So I just cut it off the excess, and then, oh, there we go, come on. There you go, cut it all off. Took the vinyl off of the sticky mat, and with this little weed tool, de-weeder, we're weeding. That's what it's called when you pick out the vinyl that you don't want. You're weeding. And so I'm weeding, and I'm taking the part out that I want to be bleach on the shirt. Does that make sense? Cool. So I just added a quick little transfer sheet so that I can transfer the vinyl onto the screen. Use this little tool to make sure that the transfer sheet is nice and stuck to the vinyl part so I can peel it off of the sheet. Then just take my silkscreen and transfer that vinyl over onto the front of it. And because of how the image was reversed, so that's backwards. Oh, and again, use that tool to smooth out all the vinyl onto the screen. And then remove the transfer tape. I'm gonna make sure that vinyl is nice and flat and stuck to the screen. And when we flip it, will no longer be mirrored.
So now from the inside of the screen, you just have to cover up all the space that isn't covered by the vinyl. And we're going to try that again. Throw down some bleach, screen pin it. And honestly, pretty stoked with how easy that was to make that screen and how well it turned out. So I did it again and I flooded it twice. So like I did 2 strokes and it made it look a little bit brighter. But I thought I'd try it one more time with just the plain bleach. And this time with having more space, I thought would be fine. So I did another stroke. And honestly, kind of floored that worked so well. I wanted to try making another screen printing using the vinyl and then an embroidery hoop. So my boy Keys on TikTok, I also have a question for them. So I'm going to make this design for them, but add my little OX face because yeah. And then just thicken it up and make it look nice. And then once again, I'm going to throw it onto the Cricut Maker program and just get it sized how I want it. Make sure that it's mirrored and go ahead and cut it on out. With it cut out, I'm just going to de-weed it or weed it. I don't know. I'm weeding it. I'm weeding this keys. So I'm weeding the keys and put on the transfer paper, and then I'm going to transfer it onto this hoop that has chiffon. I believe, yeah, that's the fabric. Chiffon tight in there. Just press it on there, or I transfer it on there, and then press it tight so it's closely on the fabric. Close up all the gaps with tape. And I didn't have a little squeegee, so I'm just going to use this little palette knife. But again, I'm going to run into the same problem because it wasn't big enough for the design. So I had to do like a couple weird passes. And it kind of worked, not really. Didn't seep through in the right place. I feel like if I had a squeegee and a bigger squeegee, I feel like that would work a whole lot better. But pretty stoked with how easy and quick that was. And so my question for Keys is if this would be like a viable way to throw tags up. I realized like it would be easy to get like something simple up there, like with just a marker. But let's say your design was like a little more complex, then maybe that would be a cool way to get up there quick.
Alright, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah.
If you want to be a schmooty pie and get your name on my video here at the end, just go to my website.